Eagles National Football Show, final hour of the program. What an iconic day for us here. Two Hall of Fame coaches, Jimmy Johnson and Tony Dungy, joined us. By the way, I think we're like, 6 away from 500 likes. Guys, please hit the like button. Also, supers go to the top. You guys have been great today. Real quick, before we bring in Mr. Eagle. Here, T-Bone. Great stuff here, man. Missed most of the show today. Work. God bless you, brother. Got to put up for the family with BG out. How about Jalix? 10, 15 more snaps. Number 93 on the edge, 10 to 15, Booker. You're not wrong here, T-Bone. This is kind of what he's probably going to do. He's going to mix and match, and he's going to find the right combinations. That's what this is about right now, T-Bone. He's going to find the right combinations that he sees that are going to be able to fit. Now, look, here's what you become. Take a look at this now. Without Brandon Graham out there on the perimeter, you are very small at edge. Outside of Smith and Jalix Hunt, those are little dudes. You're little out there now. Teams are going to attack that. You know where they're going to start attacking the Eagles? They're going to start going at Slay more. You know why? He's banged up. Every game, he's showing injuries. Now you're smaller at edge. Dude, Sweat's great. He's having a great season. But I'm going to attack those edges. And I'm going to start targeting. If you notice, the Rams are targeting Slay. Real quick before you get to Zander here. So here's Barkley, last 2 games. He's averaging 200 yards at 6.2 a carry. Once again, man, I go back to the Giants and go, what in the frig are you doing? 200 yards he's averaging. And by the way, the MVP conversation, you're going to rest them in Carolina. You're going to rest them for the Giants. You're going to rest them for Dallas. Is that important? Not really. But again, legacies. People who look down on an MVP and say that doesn't matter, they don't have legacies. Okay? If you don't have a legacy, you wouldn't know what being an MVP of the National Football League is. It's one of the most iconic things ever. Especially if you don't win a Super Bowl. You don't win a Super Bowl and you don't win the MVP. I don't know. Why can't I have both? You know what I'm saying? All right. Holy cow. You know, when Christmas and you're a little kid and you come down running downstairs and you see all the presents under the tree and you go like this, oh my God, look at everything. There's my bike with the horn on it. There's my kickstand. Look at oh my God, Daddy Krauss. Oh my God, I can't believe. Look at my toy soccer boxers. They're under the tree. Holy shit. That's what I felt like with Zander last night. After the Eagles blew out the Rams last night. Holy shit. I was like, man, he's like, this is the greatest performance I've ever done. I was like, oh, and John and I were like, hey, kid. Holy shit, man. Without further ado, the man who, as my aunt would say, is all of a sudden becoming a media icon. Sorry, Betty, I had to tell him. The legendary Big C, Xander Krauss. How you doing, brother? Thanks for going for the 20, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, big thanks, T-Bone. What's going on, Big Silz? 9-2, baby.
Holy cow, man. You were so excited last night. You should be, though, man. That was a great performance last night. It really was.
Yeah, it was tremendous. I think this team is really starting to prove it late in the year. Now they're getting later in the year here. Silz, football, as you know, is a game of big people beating up little people or people out physicaling one another. And this team is proving week in and week out that they are more physical than whoever lines up on the other side of them. And they just keep wearing these teams down. And you add Saquon Barkley, you add this offensive line, which I'm sure we'll talk about. Boy, what we're witnessing. We maybe have on that offensive line, Silz, when you think about it, you might have 2 All-Pros and 3 Pro Bowlers this year.
Yeah. I
And you
think the whole
maybe
group's
could
going.
make an argument Landon Dickerson's an all-pro level guard.
I think the whole group's going to Pro Bowl.
At least. I think Lane Johnson's still an all-pro. I think
Dude,
Jordan Mailata's arguably in that conversation. I think Landon Dickerson's arguably in that conversation. And then I
I think
think
Becton's in
Mekhi
there.
Becton and Juergens are both Pro Bowlers.
Yeah, which I predicted he'd be a Pro Bowler at the beginning. All super
Yeah.
chats will be
It's
read
just
at the
crazy,
end.
man. It's crazy when
By the
you
way,
think
you want to
about
hear
that.
this? I said it earlier in the program. I think Cam Jurgens is an upgrade from Jason Kelsey a year ago.
Wow, you think that?
Yeah, I do.
Just because he's younger, got a little more energy, a little yeah.
Yep. If you remember right at the end of the year, there were a lot of false starts.
Yeah, there were some
with
moments with Kelsey. You could see him aging a little bit for
Okay,
sure.
like towards down stretch. Right now, last night, so I'm getting on second and third levels, getting out in the perimeter. I really, man, I think he's had a great season this year. Is he the second best All-Pro center in the NFC? I mean, the guy in Detroit Ragnow is going to win it. He's going to be the All-Pro. But I mean, is there anybody else in the NFC that you would put? And by the way, for a team that's averaging 180 yards a carry, 180 yards a game. I mean,
Right.
Dude, you got to be thinking that he's going to get the accolades. So that entire group is going to be considered, in my opinion, for the Pro Bowl. I mean, what a great comment. Just some of your takeaways, though. Give me your takeaway on what the top 3 takeaways were from last night.
Well, I think number one is obvious. I mean, it's Saquon, and everybody's gonna have that takeaway anytime somebody puts up 300 yards of offense in a game as a skill position player.
Xander, when I hear 9th greatest performance at anything in the NFL, you got my attention.
Yeah, and that's why, that's part of why I made that comment last night. I know we got into a little bit of a debate, and Big Silz maybe wasn't so happy with some of my commentary, but I love A.J. Brown, and I hope nobody takes this as a slight to A.J. Brown. I think he's one of the best receivers in the game. I think Silz was right. I would take him maybe over anybody when you add him what he can do in the running game with the blocking and everything. But until I see him do something that sets the record books on fire, like I'm watching Saquon Barkley do over and over again this year, I got to give it to I think Saquon Barkley is the best football player in this team. I really do. I think he's that good, and I think he's been completely unleashed behind this offensive line. And what a sight it is to see Big Silz. 302 yards last night, man. It's unbelievable what he's doing.
Can I tell you what I said this in the open. I think what's happened finally, they have matched the back with the talent of the old line. And what I mean by that is, look, I think Miles Sanders, Pro Bowler. I think that DeAndre Swift, Pro Bowler. I think those guys are all fine ball players. They're good. But when you put them on other teams, take a look at how they look. Now, not that DeAndre's not playing well in Chicago, because he is, but he's not playing to the level that he played a year ago when he was behind that O-line.
Right.
You put a guy like Barkley back there or a guy like Henry back there, and you match the talent up with what you have with that O-line. I think this is the first time that group now has somebody as talented as them. I mean, Zander, the fucking guy's running through the line of scrimmage. He's not being touched for 40 yards, and they're gaping holes.
Yeah, both deserve credit. I mean, Saquon, look, we had this offensive line. This offensive line, while it might look a little different this year, it's been this good for many years, obviously. And, we had good running backs, but we didn't have this. No. We didn't have this. This is a dominant force that you can know it's coming and you still can't do anything about it because you just can't get through. You can't get past the offensive lineman. And then once you do, Saquon Barkley's already well past you, leaving you in the dust. So it's incredible to watch, man. Second takeaway is going defense, because the defense continues to show out. They started a little slow, as it seems to have been with them. When they do give up yards, they come early to teams. And McVay, credit to him and Stafford, they had a good game plan coming in. Those first 2 drives, they put up 120, 130 yards. And then after that, there wasn't much until the garbage time when they got a touchdown toward the end.
Yeah, in-game adjustments. They absolutely shut them down in there, no doubt. I'll make the comment to you here, man. Look, I think Barkley's better than Shady.
Oh, yeah, I do too. I think Saquon Barkley's the best running back we've ever had. Now,
I'm not old enough to remember all of them, but I mean, Dude, no
Saquon.
diss on Shady. No
No,
diss
it's not a
on him.
diss on Shady at all. And similar to the way it's not, I don't think it's a diss on anybody else to say he's the best player in the damn Eagles. When I watch that, I don't know. I don't, maybe I'm just eagle colored glasses and I'm high on the performance, but this dude it's not just 1 week he's done this. I mean, this is multiple weeks that you look at. I've given away 7 Saquon jerseys. I'm giving away 7 Saquon jerseys this year. 125 yards is no small feat in the NFL.
125 yards total offense. This guy had
we give away a
306.
jersey. I mean, many are calling for me to give away 2 tomorrow because of what he did. And will I do it? Will I do it, everybody? We will see if I do an extra jersey for the historic performance from Saquon Barkley. But it's been unbelievable to watch, man. Defense, I said, second takeaway. And my third takeaway, Silz, I said this morning, and I'm curious to hear your take on this. I think Jalen's learning how to be a game manager. And I don't mean that in a negative way one bit. Jalen Hurts is a playmaker. He's been a playmaker his entire life. Every team he's ever been a part of has required Jalen Hurts at times to go out on a limb and be the playmaker for the team. Well, he doesn't have to be that on this team. And that's hard when you go from making plays every play as a quarterback all your life to going to a spot and saying, I don't have to do it all every play. I can let AJ thrive here. I can let Saquon thrive here. And when you look at what he's done in the turnover department, when you look at the efficiency passing the ball and the passer rating and the completion percentage, this is a recipe to beat anybody in the league. Now, it doesn't look like Mahomes or Allen or Burrow or any of these other guys. And I don't give a shit anymore because I don't want it to look like that. So at the end of the day, somebody, Jimmy Johnson on this show today said, well, he needs weapons. And I get it, but
Dungeon said the opposite.
What does the alternative get you, right? Because has Josh Allen proven to you that he's an elite quarterback?
Yes.
Has Lamar Jackson proven to you that he's an elite quarterback?
Yes.
Has Joe Burrow proven to you he's an elite quarterback? Okay, and what has that gotten you? Because they don't have the weapons to do it all.
The team.
So at the end of the day,
I'm more team.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. They don't have the team. So every quarterback needs the team in order to do what we're all looking for. And that's not win MVPs. That's not be called elite by Dan Sileo. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for trophies. And every quarterback, maybe with the exception of Mahomes right now, who just keeps figuring it out with nobody.
And they're wobbling too.
And I'm more focused on that than I am on saying, wow, Jalen won without weapons. I don't care if he can win without weapons because we're not going to go the distance without the weapons.
2 coaches, Hall of Fame coaches, had 2 different opinions. By the way, super chats will all be read.
By the way, both were tremendous today. Both.
Here, both had different opinions on Hurts. Tony thinks you can win with that style. Jimmy thinks that he has to have all the components around him. And for me, what you're saying here, I'll tell you a story about Dan Marino White and won Super Bowls and how he got in the way, and I'm going to tie it into Hurts here. So when Jimmy got to Miami, Xander, he wanted to be able to have more balance and run the football. Dan Marino had only one 1,000-yard rusher in his 20 years when he was in Miami. You know what? You know why that was? He didn't want to develop a run game. He got in the way. Right. So it was all about throwing the ball in the air, was all about getting yards, was all about attempts. You know what Jalen has done? Jalen's ego is not in the way here like Aikman's ego wasn't in the way because last night he got out of the way.
Oh, yeah, completely.
Someone's going
by the way, but I'll add to that. He also had an efficient game.
But that's a guy. Wait a minute. It's not a rip. I'm not ripping.
No, I know you're. Yeah, I see what you're saying completely.
Okay,
it's not a rip.
I am not. He fucking. Hey, if I'm watching the 9th greatest performance in 110 years of pro football, I'm going to get out of the way of that. And I'm not going to try to go, well, Marino would go, well, I got to get my pass attempts in here.
Right.
And that's getting in the way. Hurts, since the bye, has been between 14 and 25 attempts, has kind of gotten out of the way, has been efficient, made a great throw last night to the back of the end zone. And I even tweeted out immediately, I go, if you don't call that a touchdown, that's robbery. Yeah, because he got them feet in last night. It was a spectacular catch. He's being efficient on 3rd down. Hey, he wasn't special. He doesn't have to be when you have a special moment like that last night. There's going to be a time when he's going to have to be special.
Yeah.
But last night wasn't it.
Yeah, but there were still moments in that game where it was a third down. You needed Jalen to make a throw, and he did last night.
I was more impressed with the
run. Yeah, right. I mean, whatever it is, he still seems to do that. And I'll add in, Silz, part of not being in the way is not just not being over the top involved, but it's also not having the negative plays. And that's what's so important. That's what Jalen is right now. He's not putting the ball in harm's way at all. It's not even right now. It's not even close to a concern for this team. And when you have Saquon, when you have AJ, when you have that offensive line, you can manage the game. You can have a different approach. And without those negative plays, I don't see how. I think this team can beat anybody in the league.
I see negative plays with missing wide open Goddards and taking sacks.
Well, those are a different kind of negative plays. Those are the type of plays you want back, but they don't break your back.
Because turnovers, you got a guy doing something special.
Well, yeah, but turnovers, I mean, you can't have a 7-point swing with a fumble return for a touchdown.
That sack took him out of field goal position.
Yeah, but come on, man. He had one sack in the game.
Okay, well, wait a minute. I'm not pointing out one. I'm pointing out missed touchdown, wide open throw, and a sack that took you out of field position. That's 10 points.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's fair, but look, he's not taking away.
He's not killing them. No. Again, I don't want to nitpick on something that last night was a destruction, because what happened last night was, hey, the Eagles went like this. Hey, listen, I'm going to hit you right in the face, and if you can't duck, I'm going to pound you into submission. And that's exactly what they did. They pounded them into submission last night. You asked me a question prior to the game. Silz, what do you think he's going to do? I thought he'd go for about 150 yards and 60 yards. It's kind of where he was in the room. That's what he's going to be, Xander, and that's okay. Like you said.
Well, I think there will be moments where he'll be more than that too. I mean,
he hasn't had them yet, but
you haven't had him much this year. But there's been moments where
What's wrong with your mic? There's something wrong with your mic. Is it all good?
It's not sounding good.
No, it was just sounding different. Maybe it's me. I don't know. Go ahead.
Oh, wait. Yeah, no. How's that?
Yeah, way better.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my thing. And I started messing up last night on the halftime show. It's been giving me a problem ever since. But now, look, you're right. You're not wrong. But I think Jalen right now, I mean, I'm not as.
I don't have a problem with he's playing.
Look, he's got the best passer rating he's ever had in his career in the NFL, which says something. He's got the highest completion percentage he's ever had in the NFL, which is high by a league average too, by the way. He's up in the 70s, which is pretty remarkable. So when he is throwing the football, look, you can still, and I know, I get what you're saying. There's moments you look and you're like, oh, you missed an open guy. You can do that with every.
But they're limiting his attempts because they're limiting high turnover opportunities.
Well, are they limiting his attempts because they want to, or are they limiting his attempts because they have an absolute weapon in the backfield who is making teams pay?
And creating one-on-one opportunities on the perimeter.
Right.
Absolutely true. By the way, I'm going to say this. You keep playing the way you're playing, 150 yards and carries when it comes to Barkley, and you keep getting those one-on-ones on the perimeter like that, until someone stops it, Zander, I'm not going to change my game plan. How about the players going over to Nick and walking right up to him? It was reported last night by Collinsworth. They thought they were going to start throwing the ball more, and what'd they do? The O-line went right over and said, hey, let's get back to our identity here, and let's run the ball here, because you know what they probably felt? They probably, as a unit, went like this. This D-line's undersized. We're going to run them into the ground. Just give us the opportunity. They gave him the opportunity, and guess what? They ran him into the ground. Would you make of Barkley being out there, though, when the game was in hand? And you now have an opportunity here where, guess what? If you're not talking about MVPs, you're not worried about it, then why are you playing them in a fourth quarter that the game was completely out of hand?
Yeah, I mean, was it completely out of hand at that point? I would never take it for granted either there, especially, by the way, when you're fighting for the 1 seed right now. I think the NFC East is pretty much wrapped up, but you know how much bigger value it would be to host that NFC Championship game versus go to Detroit? I do not. Look, Eagles versus Detroit at this moment in time is basically a toss-up. I'll take the Birds right now because I think they're more physical, and I think they have the better offensive line and the better running game with Saquon. As you point, now David Montgomery got hurt yesterday, so we'll see what happens with him. I don't know how bad it was. But Jahmyr
They're
Gibbs
going to
is
have 3,000 rushing yards with 2 guys.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible what they're doing. But look, my point is, I think it's a toss-up. You put that game in Lucas or in Ford Field in Detroit, I might lean Detroit. You put that game in Philly in January, sorry, I don't like Jared Goff in that moment.
Outside,
I don't like that moment for Jared Goff. So
I hate dome teams.
that's where I'm like, you mentioned the Panthers game. I'm not sitting anybody. I'm coming for the 1 seed because I believe it gives me that much bigger of a chance at getting to the Super Bowl. And it gives you obviously the bye week to get a little bit healthier. I'm fighting like tooth and nail to get that 1 seed. I'm not going into this Ravens game, we can lose. We need to win this football game.
Before I get to the Ravens game, loss of Brandon Graham means what?
Oh, it's massive, man. It's massive. And as much as I'm trying to be, I'm not going to sit here and say, that's a season changer. I do think it changes it. I'm not going to say it's a season ender, I guess would be a better word, but you do have to look like, where are they going to get the snaps?
That's not a season ender. What it is a season.
That's multiple injuries. Remember at that edge.
That's right.
I know Bryce Huff wasn't a great player, but you're now looking at, you're looking at like, I need bodies at this point. I'm not even talking about production is secondary. I don't even have the bodies to make up for the 65 snaps a game.
You don't have bodies, and you're undersized out there with the bodies you have.
And remember what happened to Josh Sweat last year, late in the year, from getting too many snaps.
He
had that catastrophic injury back early in his career. I think it was late high school or college or whatever.
No, it was in high school. But remember this: the more reps he took, the less production he had. That's going to increase.
Yeah, and there's not many people out there. Claire
There's
Voices,
nobody that's worthy.
Any retired, I mean, maybe if you want to lure somebody out, I don't know about that, but the only thing I could see them doing would maybe be like is there like a Ndamukong Suh signing like player where then you can move Milton more to the outside and get more depth at the.
What do you make of my deal? Go ask Aaron Donald if he wants to play.
Yeah, I heard that. I mean, somebody said Fletcher too. Fletcher lost too much weight. I don't think he's in game shape anymore.
Aaron Donald still looks good, man. I mean,
yeah. Aaron Donald and Jalen Carter. Holy shit. Who's stopping that team?
And by the way, if the Rams have no shot at it, would they allow him to because if there's money on the cap, I think they're still tied into that.
Yeah. Do they still have his rights? I think he's still got dead cap.
He's retired, but I think because he's on that cap hit, because they're still paying him, I think he's
Kokorski brings up one. Frank Clark's out there. There's a couple, but there's nobody that's going to change the game.
Is that the former Packer?
Yeah, he was with the Chiefs too.
Oh, he was a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, he was with the Chiefs when they just won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. So I think it was 2 years ago or 1 year ago when he was with them. But there's not many people out there. So that's a concern because, John says this all the time. Doug Peterson used to say, it's not the injuries I fear. It's multiple injuries at the same position.
Right.
And when you're talking about the edge rusher, you're talking about a premium position. This isn't like losing a free safety. This is, you're losing a premium position of getting after the quarterback. And the Eagles have been good at getting after quarterbacks this year. That's a concern. There's no doubt that that's a concern, but we'll see. Right now, Vic Fangio has not given me any reason to not trust him. I think, he's going to figure it out. Hey, Jordan Davis, it's time to show why you're a 13th pick. Because now I can't afford to just play you as a nose. You're going to have to play 3 technique. You're going to have to play in a 4-man front. You're going to have to be a more versatile defensive tackle. You're going to have to be.
And I don't think he's capable.
See, why not? Is it technique? Is it hands? Is it okay? Because I look at Jordan, I'm like, I know he's a big boy, but the dude's athletic as hell. Like he should be able to play it, but
he's quicker with his hands and feet. He's got more tenacity. Here's the difference between Jordan. He malazes his way into a block, and he just like Velcro, and he can't get off those fucking blocks.
Well, isn't that partly conditioning? Like Silz, when you
it's see, here's what he's doing. He's so good at the point of attack. He'll go like this, and then watch this, Zander. He'll peek and then get driven. When you stand up, I don't care who you are and how strong you are. If you bench 550, it doesn't matter. If you do this, you're blocked.
Right.
They're just too good.
It's what happened to my Lotto last night. He was too high. He got cleaned by Jared Hurts.
Yeah, but guess what? Okay, if that guy better put that in his wallet as a memento, because after that, Mulata drove him into the ground.
Yeah, he
I
did.
mean, it was a pancake fest out there. Hey, last night, they should call that O-line the International House of Philly, because that was a pancake house last night, dude.
Joe Whip, are
All
you
the
in the
guys
chat?
getting
Didn't you have a good
pancaked
name?
everywhere.
I think Joe Whip had a good name for the offensive line before the year. What was it? The Great Wall of Philly? Was that what it was?
Sure. I mean, yeah, but that was, like I said, that was the International House of Pancake
Yeah,
Philly.
It was.
They were
There's
just
no doubt.
pancaking guys everywhere. Milton Williams
By
was
the way, I want to give you a little credit too. I thought you were spot on today with a lot of. I mean, you always are, but I think the way you spoke about the team, and now they're showing it for real.
Yep.
It doesn't mean you won shit. You didn't win shit. I love that message from Nick Sirianni.
Nick said
by the way,
yesterday too, man. They haven't
yeah,
won.
I love that message from him. That's where I think Nick really does a nice job. Sometimes I think he reads the room.
I didn't think he had a great
well.
game.
No, he did not. He did not have his best game. He did
but
not.
he's better in the locker room.
Yeah, he's good at that. I mean, he's good at that. I thought that was a good message from him. But the team is starting to really show it. And when you see an elite running game, an elite offensive line, and a defense that's playing like this, you can beat anybody in this league. That's what makes football. Football's a physical game at heart. That's what it is. When you can out-physical people on the lines, when you can run down someone's throat and they can't stop it no matter what they do, when you can stop offenses that hum like the Rams offense. Remember, they had Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. All those guys were out there. Kyron Williams, Matt Stafford. They were all out there yesterday. They made that offense look like a shell of itself, and I think that really shows you how good this team can be. Now, they got to keep doing it, but I'm high on what this team can be right now.
Cosmo's right, dude. I had a bunch of friends that were at SoFi. It was Phillywood.
Yeah.
Dude, the place had 75% Eagle fans in the place.
Yeah, we had a couple of Jacob Nation people were in there. Brian Fleming, if you're in here, you were there. Matt Bird was out there.
They said that the place was all green, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty impressive out there, to say the least. Yeah, to your point, Xander, when you get a football team that is saying no mas, and you're just beating somebody up like that, they beat them up, man. First quarter, how about Vic, man? Vic has the patience. His teams the last couple of weeks, first quarter, I don't know. After that, in-game adjustments, that guy in-game adjusts. Holy shit, he shut them down. 290 yards of total offense, 4.6 yards per play. I mean, they just beat him up and held them under 60 plays again. Incredible.
Hey, can I challenge you on something that we've been debating for a couple of weeks? Can you give Darius Slay a little bit of credit? Because it looked like shit last night.
What's that?
It looked like shit last night when he got hurt. Now, you're right. Here's what you're right about. He keeps getting banged up about every single game. But, boy, when he wasn't out there, Matthew Stafford had a field day on Isaiah Rodgers last night.
It went right there, too, to Isaiah Rodgers.
Over and over and over again. They picked on him, and I'm like, look, I got problems with Slay, too, but he's still playing coverage at a high level.
Well, he had a couple pass interferences. He had 3 of them last night.
Yeah, but that one call on him was.
Hey, I'm not a ref guy.
I try not to. I'm not
a ref guy either, but I thought it was really over the top.
It was shitty. Yeah, it was shitty.
All right, so let me show you this one here now. So this weekend, you have Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, that Edwards kid at tight end. You have Hamilton, who's that secondary guy for the Ravens. You got Jalen Carter. I mean, fuck, man. You could put this is like the Pro Bowl.
It's unbelievable.
This is an MVP game this week.
Wait, though, can I make this Ravens team, for as good as they are and for as high as people talk about them, Silz, they're 7-4 right now. They got a couple really crappy losses, and they're going up against a tough Chargers team tonight. If they lose tonight's game, they drop to 7-5. I mean, all of a sudden, you're looking at this. They're going to be fighting for a wild card spot at 7-5 in the AFC.
Okay, well, let me ask you this.
I'm not saying they're there yet. They might win tonight, move to 8-4, and be in control. But
that's fair. But do you think this? So you play Kansas City, you play Buffalo, you played the Bucs, you played Denver, and you played Pittsburgh. All those teams are playoff teams, contending teams.
Yeah,
every one of them. Okay, I mean. It's not like they've had a couple weeks where they could sit guys. And now you're right. Okay? The Cleveland loss is awful. There's
Can I take some flowers on Commanders, by the way?
What's that? No, I'm not done with them.
Oh, you're
Dude,
not.
they haven't
I didn't
been
say I
good.
was done with them, but
They
I told
haven't been
everybody
good
on this
since
show, and Flex,
they
you called
haven't
me a
been good
dumbass.
since
I said they might come back to
they
earth a
haven't
little
been
bit.
good since 1997.
Three,
I
oh,
mean,
listen, they've dropped 3 straight now. I
oh
mean,
no,
look,
bad ones too.
they're halfway. Listen, you rip. I've been hearing about our collapse last year for the past year. You haven't let us forgot that thing one single day on this show. They're halfway there. They just dropped 3 straight after starting 7-2. We were what, 1-6 down the stretch last year? The Commanders are halfway there.
Want me to start being a dick here? I've
Sure,
been
go
trying
for
to.
it.
Hey, I've been trying to be nice. Hey, by the way, this guy, look at what he did last night. He made poor John McMullen apologize. I'm like, fuck that. I ain't
Oh,
apologizing.
you were crying too. I love the Cilio signature of just get the
Oh
pen
no,
and
I was writing.
just start writing.
No,
Xander's an
I just start
asshole.
writing. Xander's the dumbass. That's what
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
writing
You told
over
me you were
here.
writing that. Good stuff.
It was, man. Hey, I love that shit, actually.
I don't know where this post-game show is going.
Stop fucking moaning,
I'll
man.
tell you where it's fucking going. It's going to Saquon Barkley land, bitch. And the capital is the offensive line.
Oh,
Motherfucker.
my God. This guy, my aunt's right. You're uncontrollable.
I'm out of control.
Hey,
9-2, baby.
hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. Vic Fangio. What do you make of him?
Holy moly, man. What he's done with this team is really
Hey,
impressive.
does he make the Dolphins guys look like dicks now?
You know that saying is it, and you asked it to either Tony or Jimmy, I forget which one, but is it the Jimmys and Joes or the X's and the O's? For the first time, I'm wondering if it's the X's and the O's a little bit with this team because Vic Fangio has turned this team into they're an unbelievable defense. They're top there. They're really good. I mean, and they continue to show it now versus pretty good offenses.
Nutrition, Zander, is going to be the determining factor now moving forward. Here, as I said in my takeaways, at the end, I said this. Now it's just about being consistent and not getting hurt because they're good.
That's where I'm worried right now because you're late November right now. Everything looks real good, but we got a couple injuries. Like that Bryce Huff injury, they didn't really tell us much. They were like, oh, he might be back by the end of the year.
Put him on IR. So
yeah, like what does that mean that he might be back? They didn't give us any, oh, he'll be back for the year. He's out for the year. That's in la la land. Brandon Graham's now out for the year. I mean, Josh Sweat, I know he's okay after last night, but boy, look at what his drop off was last year when he got too many snaps. So the war of attrition is about to start really kicking, and
it started last night.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest fear about this team right now because if they can avoid the injury bug here late in the year, and now you're about to play the Ravens, you're about to play the
That's
Steelers.
Going to be a
coming
physical
up.
game. Those two
Steelers
games
too. Those are physical football contests. I mean, that's going to be interesting to see how those play out and what kind of toll those games will have on the team. But should be good, man. Hopefully they can stay healthy.
You got a couple more minutes here?
Yeah, I got a couple more. Yep.
Okay, I'm going to do something with you here. Then we'll do the super chats. I did it earlier, and I would never have compared the 24 defense to the 22 defense. Never would have at the beginning of the year. Crazy.
24 is better.
Okay, no, it's not.
Yes, it is.
You're not. You don't have a better group of defensive tackles than
22
you did.
was more productive in terms of stats.
Here. Do you think you have a better group of defensive tackles right now than you did in 22?
Well, 22, you had Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave, who were both exceptional that year.
And you had exceptional run stoppers in Sue and Linville Joseph.
Yeah, who were brought in late, and they did play a good role. Yeah, you're probably right. You don't have the depth.
Yeah, you have the better player.
I don't know, because Jalen Carter is really good, but
no, you have the better player in Carter, but you don't have the better. Dude, you're not getting shit out of Davis over there, and you're not getting.
I don't want to say you're not getting shit, but you're not getting.
Well, look, you had 11 sacks with Hargrave and 6.5 with Cox, and you had run stoppers right behind them. Yeah. I mean, you had sacks and run stoppers. You don't have that right now.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. That defensive line's probably better.
Better player than any of the years with Carter. Carter's the better player of the two groups.
Yeah, I like this defense better because I think it complements this team perfectly and they're set up. But I do see what you're saying.
So there's 22. Okay, you're not better at edge than you were 22.
Not even close there. I mean, you had Hassan Reddick, who was having a historic season. Josh Sweat had a good year that year. Brandon Graham was productive that year.
11 sacks, and you had Sweat with 11.
Yeah, I mean, both of them played really good. So
I never thought I would say this. This is fucking crazy.
linebackers are better.
I think the linebacking core is better. Now,
Yeah,
look,
they are.
okay, TJ and Bond. I think Bond runs to the ball better, and I think he blitzes better, and I think he's better in space than TJ.
TJ was great. TJ was not like Bond. Bond is way more versatile of a linebacker.
The only problem is Bond. Is this a 1-year deal, or are we going to see this?
Well, who cares, right? I need listen. I know it's
No, we're
exciting.
comparing years. Okay,
if he can be this all year, I'll take it, man. What the fuck?
How about this? Kaiser had 120 tackles that year, and that's what this kid's on pace for. But you know what? I look at with Dean right now. I think he runs to the ball better than White, and I think he blitzes better than White.
Tackles. Remember, a lot of those tackles came, a couple yards behind.
I never thought I would say the linebacking core at the beginning of the year is better than that 22 Super Bowl team, but it is. Now, here's, again, another conversation. Safeties. Dude, Epps was very underrated that year. He had 95 tackles that season.
Yeah, but Blankenship's been pretty good.
And hold on, you had him back there, and you also had Gardner Johnson, who led the NFL in interceptions that season. Yeah. However, I'm going to put Cooper more towards that slot safety, because you know why? That's more like a safety than a corner position. So to me, if I had to put I think Reed's played great, and I think Cooper's played great, and I'm going to go 24 with the safeties. Okay.
Yeah, you could make an argument either way because DJ Gardner-Johnson was really good in terms of getting turnovers that year in 22. Yeah, so you could go either way there, but the point is, I think it's obviously not a perfect comparison because every year in the NFL is different and matchups and all those things. So I like the way this defense is set up, and I'll give the major advantage to the cornerbacks this year. I think Quinyon Mitchell's far better than Bradbury.
See, I think the 22 group's better because both were Pro Bowlers, and they were second in the NFL in pass defense. And how about this? Slade's been in and out of the lineup all season long. You have truly one good corner on one side, and as soon as that guy goes out, he comes out every game. And you don't really have the depth that you had in 22 at that corner position. So I think the 22, hey, look, you have the better player, but you don't have the better group again.
I think that's closer than you're letting on to believe.
You don't have two Pro Bowlers back there at corner.
No, you could presume. I mean, if Slay was playing more, he would be a Pro Bowler.
Okay, well, he's not. That's the point. Okay, so again,
all right, wait. The final one. You taking Vic? Are you taking Jonathan Gannon?
I don't know, man. Jonathan Gannon got to a Super Bowl.
Oh, I'm not knocking Gannon, but
I'll take Vic.
I'll take Vic.
I'll take Vic is doing almost the same. No, Nick is doing better with the same shit he had, but with lesser. Jonathan Gannon had a full deck, man. He had a full deck of defensive guys over there.
I mean, that D-line was nasty, man.
When
you think back on that D-line and think about how many guys they had producing on that line, that was pretty crazy. But
70 sacks, yeah, you're never going to see that again. Let's get to the Supers, brother.
Yeah, we're ready to win this year, man. I can smell it through the screen that you're even starting to believe it. It's oozing out of you. I'm gonna have to eat my words a little bit. This team is showing it.
November 25th, you're halfway through the race, Junior. You're going to blow a shoe out.
You're right. You're not wrong about that. You're not wrong.
Make sure you don't blow a shoe out like you did a year ago.
D.O. says 21, 22, and 24 top 10 defenses, 23 defense outlier. There are some Jimmies and Joes, too, for sure. Definitely.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Jalen.
Yep, thank you, brother. Lord's Grace, you wouldn't be so thin on defensive line if Jordan Davis didn't look like a bum. Milton Williams is showing Jordan Davis how it's done. He's definitely better in the four.
Hey, by the way, who you signing? Milton Williams, Zach Bond, or Mekhi Becton?
I'm probably going Bond and Becton.
Okay,
because I think Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter complicate Milton too much.
All right.
Now, you could consider trading Davis and extending Milton because Milton's better at the 4-man front, which allows you to be a little bit more versatile.
Which means you don't have to get that $22 million fifth-year
Exactly.
option.
Exactly. Now, that's an interest. I don't know how he's going to do that.
Well, he
Flex.
ain't paying it.
Look at
He
Flex.
ain't taking that fifth-year
Look at
option.
Flex. Stop jumping the gun. Flex, aren't you getting tired of saying Xander was right again? Flex, aren't you getting tired? Flex.
Listen, halfway through the race here, man. Holy shit. I'm like at a NASCAR race here. Go ahead, please.
Super Bowl, here we come.
Zander is too full of.
Flex, I know you're tired, man. I know you're tired.
Go ahead.
All right, we already read that one. Philly Don checks in. Throw to Barkley on the sideline was spectacular. How about that? He got the knee down. That was like a cannon throw from Hurts.
God, he's so good, man.
Dio says Barkley's skill set improves with better O-line. Henry does not need as much help from O-line, but Henry has a lower ceiling than Barkley.
Dude, I'm not going anywhere near that. That guy was awesome last night, and let me tell you, man, the O-line is spectacular, but he enhances it even more.
Hey, did you hear AJ Brown comment on this though? He played with both of them.
What'd he say?
Yeah, he said, I got Derek. Derek's my boy. I love Derek, but once I saw Saquon hurdle a man backwards and doing what he's been doing this year, I think I got to give Saquon the nod as the best player in the world at that position.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, that guy's done it for 6 straight years.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but
okay,
Saquon was in New York. I mean, that place.
Dude, as a New York Giant kid, knowing what that franchise was and what they did to that guy and not utilizing his talent is fucking criminal. Yeah. Dude, they let the best running back they have had,
that organization,
that building, maybe of all time, just go away.
No doubt.
For nothing.
I don't know what they were doing. All right, here we go. T-Bone. T-Bone, thank you for your support, bro. You're the best. Z, enjoy the ride. We're flying first class. Birds prove they're legit. Ravens and Steelers will be 2 more great tests. Birds are better, but better doesn't equal a win. We'll see, Z. I want to hear about your Thanksgiving. T-Bone, thank you, brother. I normally go to my aunt's house for Thanksgiving, man. I come from a family that is a lot of home cooking, brother. A lot of home cooking. Back at the Big Z Castle, so it won't be at my place. I'll be going to my aunt's out in
seen this guy yesterday.
Out in Chester County. Wait, my aunt is my beautiful aunt and uncle's home. They live in Chester County. They live on like 70 acres. They just bought out there, and they live on the top of the mountain. They saved for their house for 15 years. They lived in a tiny little shack, and they built the house like 8 years ago. It's crazy though. I love going there. It's cool to see.
That's awesome, man. Good for you.
Well, it's not good for me. I mean, I'll enjoy the Thanksgiving there, but it ain't my place. It's not.
That's what I mean, man.
Yeah, no, it's cool though. I'm excited to go there. But just to answer T-Bone, that's what I got going on. Abe says Vic over Gannon. Vic is doing it with less talent. You could argue that.
He has no question. And I don't know, man. As good as that 22, I see this team at defense being better next year and the year after. Because they're so young.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Out in Chester Springs. That's a cool place to live, man, out there, out in Chester County. Yeah, they had 20 acres, then they bought 50 more. They bought the 50 lot next to them. I'm like, woo! Woo!
70 acres in Jersey?
No, PA. Chester.
PA?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
No, it's in. It's
are they Amish?
No, it's not that far in. It's Chester County. It's for Chester Springs is where it is. Yeah, it's cool.
I'm kidding.
It's a cool area. It's there's a lot of hills and it's fun to drive through out there. It's a lot different than where I'm from. I'm regular suburbia. But all right, I got to run. I got some clippings from the Big Silz show I got to make.
Oh, so the Jimmy and the Dungy stuff will get put up today.
Oh yeah, why would it not?
I was just curious. I know that John is, ego Xander. I know that shit's got.
I can't deal with this guy. Aunt Betty, what did you do to this guy?
Hey, by the way, one unbelievable job last night. But how long did you fucking stay on last night?
Oh, we were on, baby. We were on for about 2.5, 3 hours. We had the people in here. A lot of people in here who were on last night, which is cool to see because they were up late with me, and it's good to have them back in.
Great.
I'm looking at 2 hours of sleep, though. I got to get some rest, though.
All right, man. Grant, hey, Zander, Your football team, man, they're proving a lot. Get this, they haven't proven anything, but they're surely showing a lot.
They're showing. I thought that was the right way to put it. They're showing a lot. They haven't proved shit yet. No doubt.
Yep, they're really showing.
All right, everybody. Great stuff, man.
All right, Xander. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Make sure you check out Birds 365 in the morning. Thank you, brother. Tell John I said hi.
All right, brother. See you.
That is fantastic, guys. 525 likes. Is there a possibility we could get to 600 likes by the end of the program? Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.